Now let's talk about key space for a second. So if I gave you one key, the thing you're going to open that lock, assume it was the right lock for that key. So the key space is 1. Now if I give you 2 keys in one lock, would it be harder to open? Yeah, because now I have to try 2 different keys. I could potentially get the right one the first time, but it could take 2 tries to get it open. Right, so 2 keys. 3 keys, takes a little bit longer. Okay, 4 keys. 4. So if I was using a 4-bit key, it would be better than a 3-bit key. Do you agree with that? And much better than 1-bit key. 5-bit, same way. 10. So I had 10 keys. Obviously, you can see it's taking much longer with every one we add. Okay. All right. So with 50 keys, it'll take that long. So talk about binary real quick. You all seen binary before, hopefully? It's ones and zeros. Why do we, does anyone know why it's stored? Why the computers use binary? It's just like on and off. It's just on or off. But why couldn't we make something that was just 0 through 9?
Because you can't go to 10.
Right, well, you could, but you'd have to have another section. But the reason is binary, we can represent any number in ones and zeros. So we really only have to remember 2 states. There was a version of computer before the ENIAC, I can't think of the name of it, that actually did store in decimal. Didn't last very long because the capability, think of each position, okay? So we know what a 1 is. You know what a 10 is. So the 10's position in decimal has to have the capability of storing 0 through 9, okay? The 100's position has to have the capability of storing 0 through 9 as well as we go along. So you can't just store that with on or off. There's no way because it has to store multiple values. That's where binary came from, basically. So you see, since we're only using 0 and 1, this top one here, we got to our maximum value, so we changed it to a 0, increment the other one. Then we add 1. Now they're both at their maximum value, so we change them both to a 0, increment the next one. It's just what we do now. We think of it as once we get to 9, we change it to a 0, increment to a 10. Once we get to 99, we change it both to 0, increment to 100. So we're doing the same steps, just with less numbers, okay? So 2 to the 1 has 2 possibilities, 1 or 0, okay? 2 to the 2 has 4 possibilities. In other words, 2 times 2 is 4. And those are the possibilities of 2 squared, okay? 2 to the 3rd gives us 8 possibilities, okay? 2 to the 4th gives us 16 possibilities. So that, okay, let's keep going. So there's the 8th all the way through the 25th. So if I had a 25-bit key, that's pretty good. Because if you're trying to unlock that door with that many keys, it would take you forever. But with a computer, is that any good? It's too small. So how big should we have our key length to be good for a computer? Is 40-bit key enough? That's quite a bit.
Isn't nowadays it's like 256 or something?
Yeah.
Or 5 more.
And there's 56. But like DES, which we're getting ready to cover, has a 56-bit key. 56 has that many possibilities. Gotta admit, that's quite a few darn possibilities. How about 128? Look at how many possibilities there are. There's 256. A lot of.
How many IPv6 addresses there are?
It's 10 to the 36 for IP addresses.
Yeah. Well, IPv6. How many bits is an IPv6 address? Is it 128?
I don't remember. You asked me this, I don't remember. But they're all in hex. Hex is different.
You're right.
So there's 256. There's 1024. So I mean, we use 256 all the time now. Does that mean it's not secure? My PGP key is 1024 because you can get 1024 for free. Is that big enough? Okay, there's 2048. So the point is, how much do we really need? People always say, oh, I want the bigger number. But do you really need the bigger number? You know, I used to drive a Cadillac Escalade. Okay. Awesome car, by the way. It was so sweet. I could afford it. I could afford the gas. But then one day I got to thinking, I said, wait a minute, I know I can afford it, but why waste money on it? You know? I got my Prius and I absolutely loved it. Actually, I switched to another car in the meantime, but save so much on gas. So the point is, do we really need these huge keys like this?
No. Like if you're doing something that isn't that like if you're doing like a picture or something, like something that doesn't need to be that secure, there's no reason to have something like that.
Even if you can test 1 million passwords per second, that's still going to take a long darn time. Okay? So, it's just a lot. Okay? There's 4096. I mean, if you look at that's a lot of numbers. I think that's where I stopped. No? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is 40. There's 2048. This and this is 4096. That's right. It wouldn't fit on the screen now. So, how big of a key do we want? I mean, do we need? I mean, do we really need 4096? And what is it? One of the lectures we're going to get to, where I talk about different encryption techniques, you'll see that we're starting to use less because we realize we don't need it. So, cover that later. So there's that and that. Oh, and there's more. There's a last of it. That's a lot of darn zeros for 4096. That was 4096, wasn't it? Yeah. It's crazy stuff. All right. Oh, yeah, no, this is the one. This is the one. Okay. So D2L, this is Rose's D2L, uses a 2048-bit key. Okay. By the way, this section's a test question. I think it might be a bonus, but it's on the test. Okay. So D2L uses a 2048-bit key. So again, let's go back and see how big 2048 was. There's 2048. It's quite a bit. Okay. Google always uses 256-bit. So let's compare. That's row state. There's 256. That or that? That or that? Which one would you think is better?
2048 is mine.
So we're saying row state's better than Google. Let's look at Facebook. Facebook only uses 256 as well. But notice the encryption algorithm. This one's RSA. This uses elliptic curve. It's a totally different encryption algorithm. Okay? So when I ask you a question of who has the shortest key length, are you going to pick that one? You sure? So many people picked it last time. I'm like, seriously? It's literally on the slides. All right. So elliptic curve cryptography is probably better for most purposes, but not everything. It says ECC's main advantage is you can use smaller keys for the same level of security, especially at high levels of security like AES, ECC, and RSA. It says similar keys, cryptographers, and signatures, but a very fast key generation. So smaller keys, I'm sorry. So ECC allows you to use a smaller key to get the same level of encryption, so it makes it faster because you have a smaller key. Once we get into DES, which we haven't done yet, you'll see there's a lot of work involved in that. And if you have larger keys, it'll take longer. Yes.
So why did Rose choose RSA versus ECC?
They just haven't switched to the newer one yet. That's the only reason.
It was like cost or something.
No, it's probably because when you buy your certificate, you're set up with a specific algorithm and everything at that point. It's probably that we haven't upgraded ours in a few years. See, you can buy certificates that are good for 10 years. And you can imagine, you buy one today that's got the latest technology. Within 10 years, obviously, it's not going to be the latest anymore. So that's probably all it is. Rose is an older key. That's all. Okay. RSA versus ECC time to break. Look at that. So RSA, you have to go way high. But look at ECC. It's a whole bunch less. This is by this other dude. Okay. So ECC, your key length does not need to increase by much to get the same length of time it would take to break it. So y'all see how to read that? Okay. Here it is. Inquirer minds want to know, should I add a PKI lecture? I haven't added one yet. Would it be beneficial to add one?
Yes.
Think so? Okay. Maybe I can make one this time. Now, elliptic curve is tougher. I'm thinking about possibly adding one for that because it is popular now. It's being used by everybody. So I think we should add an elliptic curve one. Okay. I don't have any assignments for it, but I'll see about adding one.
It's a security test.
Yeah, it is. So.